Welcome to the UND Intramural Flag Football Captains Online PowerPoint. I'm the Flag Football Intramural Program Manager, Kevin Gola, and the coordinator of Rec Sports and Special Events is Patrick Marco. The responsibilities of you, the captain, is to serve as the liaison between the UND Intramural Program and your team. Make sure all player information submitted is correct and that all players are eligible to participate. Be familiar with all UND intramural rules, policies, and procedures, and make sure your team is respectful. Be aware of all scheduled game times and notify the intramural staff if you're unable to participate. Regularly check your email for any updates from the intramural staff. All schedules, including playoff schedules, are posted on imleagues.com/UND. The rules can be found on the UND Rec Sports intramural website. It is the captain's responsibility for the eligibility of their team members. All participants must sign a waiver before they can participate in their first game and bring their UND ID or Wellness Center ID before being allowed to play on a nightly basis. Anyone using someone else's ID will be suspended for the rest of the school year, and their team may be dropped from play for the remainder of the season. Players may be added to the roster at any time, but only players who have played in at least one regular season game are eligible for playoffs. Players can play in only one male or female team and one co-ed team. Once a player has played for one team, they will not be able to transfer to another. Individuals eligible to participate include any UND student or a faculty or staff member with a Wellness Center membership. Former varsity football players or sport club members are eligible, but teams may only have a maximum of 2 of each on their roster. Individuals ineligible to participate include intercollegiate varsity football team members who were active within the past year, professional or semi-pro athletes who were active in the past 2 years, or high school students. Free agents are still looking for teams. Free agent listings can be found on imleagues.com. Every team is responsible for the conduct of its players and fans. Any player ejected from a game will be suspended from their team's next contest. Team sportsmanship is rated on a 0 to 4-point scale for behavior before, during, and after a contest. Specific rules regarding sportsmanship are outlined in the participant handbook. A forfeit occurs when there are no players of a team on site by game time. The team will be ineligible for playoffs, and if they receive 2 forfeits, they will be dropped from the league. A default occurs when there are not enough players present to compete, or if the team has notified the intramural office at least 6 hours in advance that no player can make it. A team that receives 2 defaults will be ineligible for playoffs. A team that receives 3 will be dropped from the league. Only teams with a win record of 50% or above, a sportsmanship rating of 3 or higher, no forfeits, and only 1 default will be eligible to participate in playoffs. Teams may play on different nights than during their regular season. The UND intramural program has a 0 tolerance for alcohol or drugs. Any player removed from a game due to a violation will be suspended from their team's next scheduled contest. Team names must be appropriate and will be judged by the coordinator of Rec Sports before they're allowed to play. Teams are encouraged to have their own uniforms, as long as each uniform contains a different number and they are appropriate. If the team does not have any uniforms, the UND intramural office will provide them for each team member. All participants must wear appropriate footwear, no metal cleats are allowed. Practice balls must be provided by each team, and UND Rec Sports will provide the game balls. No jewelry may be worn at any time during an intramural sport activity. Medical bracelets may remain on, but they must be covered with the medical information showing. All Rec Sports employees are CPR and first aid certified. They will provide initial emergency care to any injured participant. Participation is voluntary. Any player with an open wound may not return until the wound has been covered, the bleeding has stopped, and any blood-stained part of their clothing has been removed. Please report all injuries to intramural staff. It is the captain's responsibility to be familiar with all sport rules. Only team captains are permitted to speak with officials during game time, in which there are 2 20-minute continuous running halves with a 2-minute halftime. Teams have 2 1-minute timeouts per half. During overtime, a coin toss will determine which team starts for defense and offense. Each team will get 1 offensive possession and 1 1-minute timeout per overtime period. Each team will use the same goal in overtime, and if the score is still tied at the end of the second overtime period, the game will be ruled as a tie during the regular season. If during playoffs, overtime periods will continue until a winner is declared. There are no kickoffs. In all kickoff situations, the receiving team starts with the ball on their own 14-yard line. During punting plays, no fake or quick punts are allowed. Kicking teams cannot cross their own scrimmage line until the ball is kicked, and once the ball touches the ground, the play is dead. Offensive teams have 25 seconds to put the ball in play, in which it must be snapped between the legs or to the side. Any ball that hits the ground is considered a dead ball. Only 2-point stances are allowed, and the quarterback can run at any time without being rushed. Diving is illegal at all times, unless attempting to catch a pass. Spinning is allowed by the ball carrier, and players may not hurdle over another player unless that player is already on the ground. During screening, linemen may not use their hands. Stationary downfield blocking is permitted. During defense, no bull rushing or physical tackling is allowed. Tackling is done by removing the ball carrier's flag. All clothing must be tucked in and not covering any flags. No flag guarding using arms or the ball is permitted. A touchdown is worth 6 points. Safety scoring is 2 points. A point after touchdown attempt at the 3-yard line is worth 1 point, 10-yard line 2 points, and 20-yard line 3 points. A defensive interception and subsequent touchdown after a point after touchdown attempt is worth 3 points, regardless of the original attempt amount. This rule is also in effect during overtime periods. Teams consist of 7 players. At least 4 offensive players must be on the line of scrimmage for a play to begin. Any player is eligible to catch a pass. If a team is ahead by 19 points at any point in the final 2 minutes of the game, that team will be deemed the winner. Please respect all officials, supervisors, and other players. Leagues begin Monday, September 9th, and will be played on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. During regular season league play, teams will play at the same day and time. All games are located at the UND Aerospace Fields by BioLife. Playoffs begin September 30th. The UND Aerospace Fields are located just west of I-29 and north of Demers Avenue. The Outpost is now open at the UND Wellness Center. Come rent camping equipment today. The Outpost. Gear up for adventure. The 2013 UND Green Gallop will be on October 13th at 9:30 a.m. Participants can choose between a 5K and a 10K, and prizes will be awarded for the first through third place finishers. Proceeds go to the UND Wellness Center Student Development Fund. Upcoming intramural sports include indoor soccer, ice hockey, basketball, and indoor ultimate frisbee.